Let's be real, research is a marathon filled with long hours, unexpected setbacks, and sometimes even that nagging question, why I'm doing this again. And while the journey is challenging, and there's one thing that can make all the difference, it's a good sense of humor. Today we will explore why humor isn't just a nice to have, it's essential to survive the up and downs of academic life. And we are also getting real about social media's role in the science world.
And this is the key. And you feel really in the accounts when they are doing something that they love and when they are doing things. And that's it.
Platforms today decide what good content is based on reactions and reach. But does that truly reflect the value?
Something, whatever, that people will love. Like, share, and comment.
And how does this affect the mental well-being of researchers who are sharing their work with the world? So, whether you're here for the science, or the humor, or just a dose of honesty, stay tuned as we uncover why research really does need a good sense of humor and some serious discussion about social media. Let's get into it and have fun and enjoy our conversation.
Daily dose of honest science.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to Daily Dose of Honest Science. I'm your host, Dr. Chandni Kumar, and of course, you are here for the best medical science podcast that you can hear on any podcast. And today, I'm really thrilled to introduce you to a truly remarkable scientist who has dedicated the past 17 years to cancer research at the Hospital de la Mar Research Institute in Barcelona. But beyond his research, he brings something extra to the scientific community: humor. He turned his experience into hilarious and relatable memes about PhD life, showing early career researchers how to survive the ups and downs of academia with a sense of humor. Over the time, he became, in my opinion, one of the most impactful sci-fluencers in science communication, with countless PhD students thanking him for his support during the rocky journeys. Together, we are about to dive into what makes him so special and what he can teach us about holding a good humor even in tough times. Please welcome and a big applause for Dr. Raúl Peña. Hello, Raúl.
Hi,
Such an
Tanvi.
honor
Thank you
to
so
have
much.
you here at my podcast.
Yeah,
Thank you
it
for
takes
your
time.
time.
No,
So,
thank
um,
you for your kind introduction at the first real moment. It's like,
you're
it's
already
surprising to
overwhelmed.
me. I'm not that good, in fact. Not that good. Needless to say. I might be little bit lucky with that reach or these likes or comments or whatever, but no, I'm not that good. Thank you so much.
Raúl, I wrote in my video script, you have been many decades now into the research area, and maybe you feel already like a little dinosaur somehow, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it's always important to know, how did the person get into science? So please share us, how did you get into science? What was like the moment where you said, I want to become a researcher?
Okay, I think it was when I was very child, okay, very, very young, in fact, about 10, 12, 14 years old, probably. I used to vote in my country, in Spain. There was like a magazine, like a science communication magazine that is what's called Muy Interesante. It's like very interesting. And this magazine is just focusing in outreach of novel research, okay, about whatever, fossils, science, chemistry, physics, biology. And then I used to buy this magazine every month. And I think that once I started to reading that, and also I love a lot going to the mountains and to enjoy nature with my fathers. Okay, I think that these both interests matched at one point, and I was like dreaming about trying to discovering and researching what is happening in the world. And then when this fits and it takes the times to, let's say, choose which degree you are going to study, I have totally clear that I wanted to study biology. And that's it. And then I started biology at my age, like a dinosaurs.
Mhm.
I haven't all this kind of hundreds of options that already now exist in my time. Yes, I have or biology or chemistry or physics, like a wall of career or degree of wall of knowledge, not a specific knowledge for individual degrees like is happening now. And then I applied for biology, interbiology, and biology, and start to. And my dream during the degree was always trying to collaborate on any laboratory and any department, and then started to collaborate with the microbiology department. And after this, I did my PhD in cell biology, and then I moved to Barcelona because I study in the north of Bilbao, in the north of Spain, not in Barcelona.
Mhm.
And then I come here, and then at the end, I go into cancer research, and now I'm doing that.
Mhm.
To be said that I am not like a pure researcher. I have like a mix of roles.
Mhm.
Thus, I am like a lab manager of the lab, okay? And then also a little bit of my time is going to direct the research, to direct my
Mhm.
own research, okay?
Mm. Mm. So you still publish on your own, or is it more in the lab management space that you say you help other PhD students and postdocs, or how does it work in your case?
I started in my current institution in 2007, and then at that time, my boss has a very huge lab, about 25 people, so big lab. And then at that moment, I do 100% of lab managing, everything, orders, buffers, contract, managing conflicts, whatever takes time to the researchers to out of their own research.
Mm.
I was there to help them. And then with the years, my lab became a little bit smaller, and instead of 20 people, we get like 8, 10, because the problems of funding, like everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And then at that moment, we like agree somehow that a pure figure of a position of lab managing has no sense, because
Mm.
I don't have all the schedule of my daily schedule full of work. And then at that time, I started like my own research. And then during that period, I supervised a PhD student. And then after he completed and passed the PhD, I make my own research, because at that time, even the lab become a little bit smaller. And then
Mhm.
now we are like 8 people or 6 people, depending
Oh,
of the
wow.
time. And then at this moment, I do like technical support, managing support, because it's like my original position, in fact. Okay. And then I have a part of the day that is a research in my own project. But now I am alone, let's say. Yes,
Okay.
I get help sometimes from master students, degree students, undergraduates, and this kind of people for some period. But in
Mm.
general, I do alone in our lab. Each one has like a totally different project. So at the end, we share techniques, but not
This-
objectives at the end.
Okay, okay. And could you maybe explain a bit the audience what your research is about? So, what are
Okay,
you
yeah,
searching?
for sure. Our lab is focused in tumor microenvironment. To those to those people that are out of cancer, we have to say in general that cancer malignant cells are those that have mutations or promotion of overgrowth without stop, and then these cancer cells interact with normal healthy tissue of the body, because at the end these cells are in any tissue. And then these cancer cells secretes molecules in general and other factors, growth factors and cytokines and many kind of different molecules that interact with this healthy tissue. And what they do, in fact, is what it says that they hijack the healthy tissue to promote their own growth. Okay, and the lab study, in fact, this interplay between cancer cell and non-cancer cell. Okay, this is the main goal of our lab. Okay, and then a part of this, we are mainly focused on fibroblasts of the tissue. how fibroblasts can promote or not promote the tumoral growth, okay, and how we can turn from pro-tumorigenic fibroblasts to anti-tumorigenic fibroblasts, okay. And we do like a very, very basic research. We describe like mechanisms in which how it is happening in different subset of tumors, obvious. And then my tumor, let's say, is like Kaposi sarcoma. Okay, Kaposi sarcoma is a skin cancer. It's quite rare. So very few people have Kaposi sarcoma, in fact, and the originality and the difference of this sarcoma is that it's not the cancer cells are not cells that mutate. Instead of that, are cells that are infected with a virus, an herpes virus. Okay,
Okay.
and then this herpes virus is present maybe in the 30-40% of the people worldwide. Okay, and then upon certain circumstances, usually linked to immunosuppressions, this virus can promote the overgrowth of the cells that are infected with the virus. Okay, and then in fact, what I'm trying to do is to understand the interplay from these viral infected cells with the cells in the microenvironment, especially focused on the fibroblasts. And this is what I
And
do.
are you using cell culture models or?
Yeah, we use cell culture models. Yeah, mainly the Unix. Yeah, in fact, the problem with the virus is that the virus is highly species specific. So the human herpes virus cannot infect a mice. So we haven't, in fact, a mice model to study the herpes virus of the Kaposi sarcoma because this virus do not promote overgrowth in mice. Many people tried in the past and they don't get any results. Last weeks, I read a paper in which they do the following experiment. Is like taking an original piece of human patients from Kaposi sarcoma, take from a biopsy, and then and put it under the skin of a mice
Oh, okay.
and let them grow over there. Okay, this is a very old technique, and many of the cool experiments that are really done now in vivo from with tumors from other tumors from patients are doing in similar way. Okay, you take any piece of tumor from any location from any donor, any patients, and put in a mice, and the tissue of the mice allow this human tumor to grow. Okay, but never had tried until now to do the same in Kaposi sarcoma. So the first report that they did do that in a mice was from September of this year, to be honest. And well, but as the Kaposi sarcoma is a highly infectious virus and and generate like a chronic disease, I don't even have the installations with the right permissions to try to to repeat these experiments.
Yeah, so
Because
I
you
was
need
wanted to ask you, like, that would be, I think, even S2 up to S3 kind of standards,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
or
for all
maybe
the,
four, and maybe four, because
okay.
this virus is highly associated with AIDS,
Mm.
and in many cases you have to be very very sure that the patient has no AIDS.
And how do you
Yes.
work then with this? So do you have like a
I have
collaboration that can do it, or?
no. I do everything in vitro. We take cells that are very similar, that those one are infected with the Kaposi in vivo, and then try to make like induce overexpress viral proteins in this system and try to see the changes. And then
Okay.
by
So
other
you
side,
try to mimic it.
yeah, we mimic it. Yeah, because we don't have the installations to do that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the only thing that I am allowed to do by our ethical committee with the patients is just to take the piece, disaggregate a little bit, and fix it to avoid that. And once you are fixed, when you fix the cells, the virus is inactivated. So I don't have permission to try to grow these cells in my culture room or do more fancy experiments along the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need to adapt to this ethical committee resolution. It's like whatever I can do.
Okay. And when you do your research on this, let's say, what are the main key takeaways that you have found out or already published on this?
We haven't any publication of this topic. Okay,
So it's
because
still
this
ongoing
this
work.
we are still on this is the first project that we did in this Kaposi sarcoma. In fact, the idea to work with Kaposi sarcoma is because the original host of the Kaposi sarcoma is an endothelial cell. Okay, and then we make a previous work uh, addressing the work, addressing the role of the endothelial cells during the first step of breast cancer initiation. Okay, this when cancer cells start to grow, okay, they promote some factors, and then part of these factors, what they do is to promote angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is a process in which the new vessels are created, okay, and then these endothelial cells become activated. In technical language, they become activated and then create new vessels, and then to irrigate and get oxygen and nutrient supplies to this new mass of cells that are growing, that is called tumor. And then we, in a moment of this project, we get the conclusions that this process of activation of endothelial cells happens in a very similar way from in breast cancers that in Kaposi sarcoma, because the Kaposi sarcoma original putative cell is an endothelial cell. So the sarcoma arises after a full activation and an infinite activation of endothelial cells. And then we started to work with this Kaposi sarcoma, just to try to know if in the sarcoma happen exactly the same process and in the same manner that happens in the endothelial cells during breast cancer. But we still haven't published any data of this work. So it will take time, you know. Everything in biology, everything takes time. I mean,
That's true.
different.
Yeah.
It's totally different to chemistry in example. Like
Yeah.
I publish a lot, you know, but here it's quite impossible.
Or
We need
medicine.
a lot of work, a lot of controls, a lot of experiments to get convinced that is happening in this way. So we need a lot of time, too much.
Yeah. No, I feel the same. I'm working also with cancer cell lines sometimes, and then of course you have to have all the controls to be very sure.
Yeah. To be sure, and a lot of replicates and all this stuff. Yeah.
But working on the specific, let's say, skin cancer is a topic of your PI, but not from you, or
No, what's my original idea, in fact?
so it's from.
Yeah.
So you are really interested in that, and
Well, interested, yes. I want to understand things. And then what happens is that the first original project about this breast cancer endothelial cells, the initial idea of that was mine because of an observation in some stains in tumors in patients, that once we, in a moment, we make like a general stain of one protein in the tumor, and then I realized that that particular protein was overexpressed in endothelial cells. And then I check in the bibliography that nobody has understand, and nobody has studied, and nobody has proposed any model what is happening with this particular protein in that particular subtype of cell. I went to my boss and said, Antonio, have you realized that is happening? And he said, this is real. And then I showed him several images and shared a brief moment in the microscope. And he said, okay, let's start to study that.
awesome.
And then the second project is like the continuation, like the natural continuation of that, you know? So we can continue once we finish the first project, we can continue in different ways, but this way with this small experiments that we did in Kaposi sarcoma was like so, let's say, exciting and promising, and then we make like a switch to study pretty much the same but in a different context. And also because the big cancers, lung cancer, breast cancer, they have a lot of people working on that. So really to have a very highly impact work it's highly difficult to compete with many people, but in a small cancer it's a little bit different because there is not so many people working on that. Maybe they are not working exactly in the same way they are working. So the originality of the research is a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that the cancer itself is very rare and
Mm.
nobody is in general interested in that particular cancer.
Yeah.
It's like a
So
balance, you know?
yes, yeah. So maybe what would be the future outlook for your project? So would you love to see maybe that you uncover how it works and that leads to a therapy, or what would be
What we do in the lab is very basic research. Okay. In fact, this cancer, let's say, is a chronic cancer. It means that you can't cure that cancer, mostly because most of the cells of the patients, most of the endothelial cells of the patients, in fact, are already infected. So what you can do is cure a lesion that this patient have in a moment of their lives and remove and nothing happens, but you don't cure the disease itself because the infection is so persistent. So the idea is that behind the final goal, but I have to say that we don't do that because we do very basic research trying to understand mechanisms of activation and inactivation. But what people could do if our research is a little bit successful is to, when you have a big lesion, okay, the usual intervention is to remove the skin and make like a big scarf.
Mhm.
And then we wonder if we can create in any moment like a blocking mechanism to this interaction. So in one moment you can apply a therapy to reduce this lesion before the surgery.
Mm.
And in this manner, the second effects, so the side effects of the surgery will be a little bit reduced.
Ah.
you know that we know and we feel that the fibroblasts, once are they activated, in general helps the tumor to grow, you know
Mm.
but these lesions are not so continuous in the time, so a patient can have like a lesion in one moment and not have another lesion up to 3, 4, 5, 10 years later.
Mm.
So the therapy will be like, okay, take this pill forever, just in case this cancer will be reactivated in any time. Until, to be honest, this is not a real option.
No.
So we will need to uh, wait until one patient get the lesion reactivated, and in this moment try to check if the therapy works.
Mm.
But usually, if the lesion is very small when this patient go to the doctors, they just remove and go on.
Mm.
It's like, well, the realistic way, to be honest, in fact,
Mm.
probably my research is just to know a mechanism more than to get a real therapy. So
Mm.
the real therapy for these guys was to know a mechanism in which we can kill the infected cells from the organism in any moment, or you can't stop the spread of this virus. But my virus is so tricky.
Mm.
It's very similar of this herpes from the mouth. You give yourself this Zovidax, this cream that in fact is like anti new virus creation agent. But
Mm.
at the end, you don't do nothing. You just cure this small lesion, and maybe the next week you have the same in the upper part of the lip.
Yes.
So my virus is very much the same.
Mm.
It's so difficult to treat like let's say a hidden infection of a virus in general.
Yes.
You can treat the symptoms and you can treat the virus that are in the blood
Mm.
somehow to don't allow this virus to infect a new cells. That is what really happens, for example, in AIDS and in other diseases. But once a cell had the virus inside, in fact, this herpes virus, the virus itself dismantle. And then when you have infected cells, from the virus, you just have DNA in the cell. It's like you have to create something that direct to a piece of DNA different to a piece of DNA of the host. And this is so difficult.
Yeah.
This is so difficult to get. And so difficult, not because I say that it's difficult. It's difficult, in fact, because nobody had created this therapy. And it's so weird to try to. So you can treat things that have like surface changes. And then you can label these changes and then track a drug to this labeling. And then you kill these cells. This happens usually in cancer, no? It's a typical therapy for cancer, no? But the effect of this virus in the host cells have like two states, and they have like a latent state in which the virus is the virus. The DNA of the virus is in the cell, and the cells behaves totally normal. It's a normal endothelial cell. Nothing different with a non-infected endothelial cells. And then when this virus, this DNA become activated, they create new virus, and then this virus get outside to the bloodstream and infect other endothelial cells in the bloodstream and the capillaries, and these infected, lytic infected cells die and disappear. So it's like we don't need, in fact, to cure the lytic infected cells because these cells are gonna die. We need to cure the latent infected cells, but these cells are exactly the same than normal cell in 99% of the. Maybe any laboratory can distinguish this latent infected from normal. For sure, there is any difference, but the point is this difference enough to get a therapy directed? And this is what nobody has created at the beginning of the end. Probably also because these are rare disease, and for probably also because for most of the patients it's a curable disease. And then invest money in something like this, like, well, you remove a part of the skin and your life is okay again. It's like everything is balanced, economical or whatever says you can give to this balance. But this is true.
No, but I find it really fascinating that you're still working on it and try to find out what is going on wrong there. Maybe on a note, you know that people are trying to cure cancer now, or at least try to eliminate it by vaccination, you know, the mRNA vaccinations and so on. So are you also working a bit on this as well?
No,
Or
no, this is totally of our interest. It's so complicated vaccination and the
so there's
preclinical.
no.
The problem is that we don't have like a preclinical model to vaccinate. So we can implant like these guys. We can now implant following their protocol, take a biopsy and put in a mice. Okay, but the virus, the human virus of the tumor, will never infect the mice endothelial cells because they don't match, and that's it. So whatever, we lack a preclinical model in which we can study if our theoretical vaccines will work or not. So it's like I can say nothing. Why? Because the mice don't have, will never, I can put the vaccine to the mice, but anyway, they will never be infected. They are mice, they are not human. And then the people and people did it in the past, found the homologue of this virus, the mouse version of this human virus, at the end realized that most of the effects that this mice virus did in the mice are not pretty much the same that happens in a human infection. So at the end, you can try to create a vaccine for mice virus to check if it works or not. But at the end, you need a new novel strategy to do the same in the human because the output is not exactly the same.
And did you also consider at one point working with organoids, so this 3D structure?
I don't have permission in my institution. I can grow the cells. I can't grow.
And collaborations?
No. No, we try to do everything by our own. Collaborations are okay in general. I agree that they are okay, but you have to get like a good feeling that everything will go okay.
Mm.
because are sometimes, let's say, hard to manage, let's say, in this manner. And then probably bad experience in the past don't allow get good experience in the future. And for us, it's like we love to collaborate with people in our area
Yeah.
because it's people that you can go to the lab, they can come,
Yeah.
we meet one to each other, we share progress. But in my area, there is nobody working in this virus in the same way that I'm doing. So there are people working in Kaposi sarcoma epidemiology and treatments and clinical settings, but I don't do that. And then collaborate with a very far away collaborator is, well, we don't do, let's say, in this way.
Difficult. Yeah.
It's quite difficult, in fact, yeah,
Mm.
to be
Mm.
honest.
But would you love to sometimes? Would you say it would be cool? Or is it more like you just want to focus on what you're doing?
Sorry, I don't hear the first part of the. I didn't hear the.
I just was wondering if you would love to have a collaboration on it, um, you know, on more clinical setting, just to.
Mm, To be honest, I love basic research. I,
Okay.
I love understanding things.
Mm.
I can leave the other part to whoever wants it. Because this is really a very long time process.
Mm. Yeah, for
You
me,
know?
it's a bit different. I also like to have the collaboration with medical professionals.
No,
And
we have the collaborations, but we have I mean mm, we have many circumstances, and the problem, our main problem, let's say, is that we have very few patients per year. You know that I, I can give you a real name, but probably 90 to 95% of the people that came to our hospital with Kaposi sarcoma are already AIDS patients. And we can handle these samples because we don't
mm,
have permissions. But not, let's say, it's not that we don't have permissions. Maybe I don't even want to work with AIDS, you know,
yeah,
because it's a risk. It's
yeah,
totally a
yeah,
risk. I
yeah,
mean, and then what happens with us is like when I want a sample of this tumor, I need to wait. I have like two, three, four per year.
okay.
So whatever I will want to do in a clinical, on a real model, on a patient's samples,
Mm,
I can try one today and then wait for 4 months. If didn't work, it doesn't give any result. So it's so difficult. When you don't have patients and you are trying to biochemical research, it's so
mm,
difficult to do that.
yeah, that's
What
true.
is easy somehow is when you work on lung cancer, breast cancer, colorectal cancer. They have surgeries every week, every day. Patients every month to have
Mm,
10, 20, 30 in each hospital of our country. So once you get the connection with a medical, a doctor, a medical team that is already implicated with
yeah,
research, you have a lot of samples. You can do a lot of trials. You can do a lot of experiments because if one day doesn't work, tomorrow I will repeat the same experiment with another patient. But you have three per year.
mm,
You have to carefully select what you are wanting to do, what
yeah,
really gives you like a huge impact of this experiment in your research,
mm,
and then wait for 3 months or 4 or 6, just waiting. And it's like we can do, but we can't do at the end. I mean,
mm,
it's like so theoretical what we can do.
mm. Um, when you say you only get like 3 to 4 patient samples, is it also for you sometimes like how can I say it? Like a little honor at some point to work with these samples, like because they're so precious.
I prefer not to think in that. Not to it's like we focus in do one experiment and then we need to do, and that's it. If it works, works. And that is like a daily work. You do, or I try to do my best in any experiments, any cell culture, any Western blot, any technique every day. Sometimes I don't succeed, and that's it. And with the patient, it's pretty much the same. And it will not be the first time that we collect a sample, try to do an experiment, and at the end we say, we have to discard everything. So, for example, the last time I get a patient, we want to isolate the cancer cells to fix them, to make a sequencing of the cells, okay? And then we realize at the very last step of the before the fixation, that all the sample was contaminated with bacteria.
Oh.
Because they select, well, the patient, they select the medical cell. No, the patient has like a very huge lesion of Kaposi sarcoma that in theory was pretty fine to me because I will have a lot of piece of tumor to treat, to manage, okay? But the lesion was so open that the patient get like a huge bacterial infection, and I can't really technically separate the bacteria from the donor cells, and then I can't sequence that because the bacteria are that small that with each cell I will sequence hundreds of millions of bacteria. And I say, what we do? Discard all the sample. And then what we decide with the ethical committee and the medical physician and everything, next times select a patient with a small lesion, or at least give me the medium to small lesions, not open at all, okay? And if they detect that they have like any kind of open lesion in that patient, they give them antibiotics to prevent that, to give me the samples like a little bit pure. So, and those are decisions that you are forced to have just because one day you have a problem. Okay, the first time that they say me, okay, we have a huge lesion. We were so excited because with a huge lesion, theoretically, we will get a lot of cells and we could make this sequence because you need a minimum amount of cell that in fact is very high. And then we need to discard that. And what are we doing now? Collecting patients over a patient, over a patient, over a patient until get the enough amount of cells that we could get in fact with that original patients, but we couldn't because of the infection. So it's like, I mean, unsolicited advice to everybody that is going on research is like, be calm, people. Don't get too much overexcited about any experiment and go with the head thinking that it will fail. And that's it. And then it fails, you go home, get depressed, get out to a restaurant to make a compensation balance in your dopamine levels, And the next time, go to your boss and say, do you know what happened, my dear boss, yesterday? That we were so happy and funny because we have a huge lesson, blah, blah, blah. We don't get nothing. So I will tell you when will it be the next patient. And my boss say like, it was happening in science, and that's it. And that's it. So take calm, people. Don't get too much excited because it's our like daily work,
Yeah, that's true. That's yeah, I had the same issue in my PhD back then. I'm still working on that topic, and it was very puzzling to me to know what my protein is doing in the context I was looking at its centromere biology, and I couldn't figure out. And
No, this is true.
yeah, and then
This is
I
true.
was so upset, and then I had the idea, okay, I give it a last chance to stain for another protein. And suddenly I figured out it was staining with another protein. So I was looking 2 years at the wrong protein.
Yeah. No, but it happens, eh? Do
So
you want to know another anecdote of that one? I have a friend that make a postdoc with me in another institution before that, around 2004 or something like this. Make a short postdoc in another institution of Barcelona. Okay, we work on development, but she came from a PhD in biochemistry, in yeast biochemistry. Okay, and then when she started the PhD, okay, another friend of her, another female researcher, started with her, okay, and then the boss said, okay, we make the screening. I don't remember which kind of screening yes was. I don't remember what was even the objective of that screening. And then the boss said, okay, we have two candidates, two protein candidates, and we're working in blah, 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 whatever, doesn't care. Okay, so by randomly, I will choose one for you and one for you. Okay? And then you will perform exactly the same kind of experiments because we feel that both proteins are implicated in the same pathways and in the same biological process within the yeast. Okay? So 4 years later, my friend has any publications, okay? And the other researcher got a cell of first author.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like a balance. You know, if the coin flips in the other way,
Yes.
my friends will have this self
Have that.
publication as,
Yeah.
but it works in this way. It works in this way. It's like we sometimes make like random or non-random, really smart elections in the project, and this election of this random process or whatever you can call this will determine what will happen in the future. And you are not even conscient about what will happen in the future because at the time of this election, the election sound pretty much logical, but maybe at the end it is not. And,
Yeah.
and this is it worse. I mean, I think that the people that proceed to a postdoc PI are people that can survive to these fails and to these like emotional waves,
Yeah.
in which you can be in the bottom part, not the present, let's say, but still working in your project. I mean, I can go to cell culture knowing that during the last 2 weeks, I didn't get any Western blot perfectly done. Why? Because if I don't go to cell culture, I will not be able to do a next Western blot to check whatever. So it's like you need to survive to that emotional feelings.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Um, what I wanted to ask. Yeah. So now we know that what kind of research you're doing. I would like to go on to the position that you're right now in, and would like to ask you, are you considering yourself as a senior researcher or senior postdoc, or?
No, no. My position, my real position, and my real contract is lab technician,
Okay.
and I am totally agree with that position.
Okay.
This is true that with my current boss, even I have a contract of lab technician, I can do my own research, but I don't want to proceed to a full, sorry, I don't have water, to a full, let's say, PI position because it's so hard, to be honest. It's so hard. I mean, I love to be in the lab, okay? I love to be there, doing bioinformatics or doing Western or doing whatever. But I love the contact with the young people that are in the lab doing PhD. It's so lovely experience at the end, work with young people, okay? PIs are always worried about money, always worried about publications, always worried about submissions, deadlines. And I don't feel that I want to do that. 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I will say to you, yes, I want to do that. But now, at my close to 50s, I don't want it, to be
No.
honest.
Yeah.
Not needed. I'm very much. I mean, I don't also want to be like a routinary lab technician, just do that, do that, do that, do that, do that with another boss. I don't also want that because it's not so mentally exciting, to be honest. It's like so quite boring for me, but other people love to do that, do the same technique every day, every day, every day, and repeat, and they are pretty happy with that. And for me, it's okay, but my mind need like variations. I need to do one day this, one day that, with the other thing, and then I look this kind of variation in my daily work. But PI is so hard, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is also something that I'm struggling right now to
yeah.
figure
I
out if
mean,
I really want to do it.
I guess that PA is pretty good if you know that you will have always funding.
Yeah.
But if you
Yes.
don't, better not to be, because
Yes. But
always you will be
yeah, the problem is, how do you
worried.
get the funding, right? So you have to have the good ideas. You have to convince the people to give you the money.
Yeah.
It's also a technique, I would say. Um,
Well, and always try to publish in the top journals, and always try to get
yes.
like a new discoveries, original
Yeah.
one, different to everybody.
Mm,
So clinical, we set clinical settings if you work in bioscience also, because
yeah.
other basic things is not trendy now. So it's like you need to adapt. You need to adapt to every new technique that is happening every year, to every technique that is like a cool trend for the journals. That this is also true, because if you don't do some things that the journal want, that you will not publish in that kind of journals. And you need to be every day contacting people, sharing information. Well, it's totally different. I think that it's totally different. Nobody teach you how to do that. Also,
Yeah.
people teach you how to research, but not how to
Yes.
be a PI.
No.
And also, you have to know how to handle people, how to stimulate people, how to encourage people, how to make team building. And when you combine this administrative funding searching with these people that will give you resource to the other part, sometimes the cross is not good for
Yeah.
many
Yeah. Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And I don't need it to my life. I want to go home and be calm and watch TV and watch reels and this kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
not needed.
Yeah. No, that's true. Um, on that note, since you identify yourself more as a lab technician, but are you still involved also in teaching, maybe bachelor students or master students?
Yeah,
Uh,
depending of the year, we we have like the idea that if we accept any kind of summer intern of master students, is because we need to teach them few techniques, not so much, and we expect a result that fits in a particular moment of a particular project. So, but also this is my mind, my mindset. It's like if I want a student, it's because I know that I want that student need to do that subset of experiments
Mhm.
that I will not be in charge of.
Hmm.
So, students for few time is difficult to handle because you need to teach them like a one or two techniques in a very quick mode, than techniques that need to be learned very fast to be productive. Because if they are going to be 2 months, you can teach them like a huge complicated techniques with many trouble settings. It's not necessary. But once you get a students that go for 4, 5, 6 months, that is okay. I just accept them if I want to do like this is your work. I will teach you the techniques, and I will be with you probably every day during first month, 2 months for sure, no problem at all. But once you arrive at the point that you technically can work by yourself, I will be in part of another things, and then you will be me results and problems to solve. No problems. You get me problems that I can
Mm,
do that. Okay, let's go to solve that. But what I will expect to you is that you need to provide me results.
mm,
I I consider myself that I am a good supervisor. Let's say that, okay? But when we had in the lab students that just want to learn techniques just because the student consider itself like a pure student, it never works,
mm,
because we consider them like as young, very young researchers. But very young researchers need to learn and produce results. If not, it's a waste of time and resources. And in general, in Spain, nobody paid to the labs money for the reagents that the students consume, neither for the time of the researchers invest of them,
mm,
and neither by nothing. So at the end, it's like, again, we can accept, or I can accept an students, but the student has to balance my invest of time and my lab invest of money. And sometimes we had problems in the past with that. It's like people go, but I really know how to do a Western blot. I want to do immunohistochemistry. Yeah, no problem. But you have 3 Western blots to do. When you demonstrate me that you can do these 3 Western blot and you still have free time, I will teach you immunohistochemistry. But the next 2 weeks, I will expect from you Western blot and immunohistochemistry results. Because if not, I will not teach you. Because if not, I am wasting my time. And I can do immunohistochemistry or Western blot by myself. So you do one part and I do the other. And at the end, the project go further at the same time. And no one of us are losing time and resources. Sometimes resources are also pretty much important in that time, So I love to have students, but I try to always explain carefully to them what I expect. And this is a conversation that I used to have with all my students during the first week of their work. It's like, I want to be honest. This is and for many of them, I show them. I have this figure for a paper. Do you see that the panel figure 1, B, C, and D are empty? Yes? This is your work. And if you fill the A, the B, or the C, or any pair of them, I will put you as an author in the paper. I have no problem. If you just make one image that go with that paper, I will add you as an author, and this is your price. Okay, to be here doing work for me, but it's just to be honest with them. So I am a mix from teacher and supervisor, but I need results. Because if not, I will do everything by myself, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I guess that that for many of them sounds pretty logical. Nobody teaches them until they arrive to the lab. So this is why, with the time, I prefer to explain it to them in the first or the second meeting that we get about the project. I can explain wherever, but I need results. Don't forget about that. You obviously need to present your master thesis, but I will not allow you to present a master thesis with results that I don't want. You will do my project, o sea, my part of the project, a part of my project, better to say. And then to decorate this, you will need to fill several other experiments that maybe for me is not important, but for your history in your master's thesis, it's important to have like a logical explanation, and you will do everything. But a part of your results need to go to my paper. If not, we are losing money and time, and we don't want that.
That's fair share, and I really like that you're communicating it very honestly in the beginning of an internship, for instance, because then the communication is set right and the people learn directly from the beginning.
Yeah.
Works, right?
Also because it's difficult. I mean, when you are a PI and you are in your office, it's totally clear that you have a supervisor there and lab mates in the lab. But I am physically in the lab. So I need to somehow establish like this barrier of supervisor student. But once established this barrier, also I will be in the lab. I will lunch with them, take beers with them if necessary, enjoy with them, cry with them, and dance with them in the lab, put music with them. We do that in the lab, so we are a lab so funny. So, but even I do beers with you, even I do dance with you, even I allow you to put the music that you want in my computer to the lab, still I am your supervisor. You need to have clear that we have a barrier. The barrier is so diffuse at the end because we will be 8 hours in the same bench because we put the students with the people that supervise. It's like, but let's say clear. I am a small supervisor. Then we have another big supervisor. No problem at all. But your daily supervisor is me. And also I want result, not just the other boss.
And also to bring the respect, right?
Yeah. Well, we are Spanish, we are Latins. Respect is so diffuse concept for us,
Okay.
It's not the same for the northern people of Europe. I mean, we can make a lot of jokes, and a part of it we get respect, and we can complain when from the other part, and we can discuss and we can fight, and still we have respect, and tomorrow we will work together. We are Latin in this sense. We are so hot. Let's say.
Yeah, I have a Spanish colleague who is the same, and it's always very funny to talk to him.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. So on that note, you already answered many questions regarding supervision, but maybe you can also, because you've been doing it for such a long time, maybe you encountered changes within the generations that are now coming in and coming out of the lab. So do you see any changes, any also in terms of what they bring to the table, also from the motivation, from what they expect sometimes.
Yes, you are totally right. Let First, I think I want to say that I am quite old, and then I have this mindset that all times were always better.
Yeah.
Okay, you know,
Yeah.
need to be like inciso, like consider that. Okay, and then I need to say that this is not probably true. Okay. But
Yeah.
anyway, I am quite old, so I need to say that older students who are none, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then one established that like considerations, let's say. Yeah, I think there are many, many, many changes. There are changes for better, for sure. All of them related to respect, to minorities, to diversity, to gender, respect to time, working schedule, time schedule of the lab, regarding the functions, okay, regarding many legal aspects. We don't have contracts at my age when I did my
Yeah.
PhD. Then we fight a lot. We I fight a lot with the ministers of Spain, make many strikes to get these rights that these young people luckily think that are really their rights. I totally agree with the idea,
Mm.
but we needed to fight for that rights we
Yeah.
didn't have. Okay, so uh, in this aspect, they are more ready for than us that we were in the past for sure. Okay, uh, I think that the motivation is. I will not say pretty much the same, but probably very much the same. They are so motivated, most of them. Okay, but they have like logical let's how to say that these motivations but with restrictions.
Hmm.
What means that I was motivated in early 20s, 2000s, okay, and I can be many hours in my lab with no problem at all because I was so motivated, and this don't happen in right now. People establish boundaries, establish work-life balance, establish that they don't want to come here in weekends. That I totally understand. I think that is pretty logical, in fact. Okay, and then some people older than me, they say they don't have motivation. I think that this is not true. This is not true. I mean, they have motivation, but in a different way. So they are motivated to work during the working hours. After that, they have a bad life. And the older generations didn't have a life out of the lab.
Mm.
And this is important to have to recognize to young people. They can establish these boundaries and say, oh no, my time is that one. And
Mm.
out of that, don't call me, don't send me an email because I will not reply. And this is totally fine. Okay. And then a part of this, probably they have bad things also. I will say that they are like, I mean, I don't know if less curiosity than us, but they are a little bit maybe less open to new ideas.
Oh, okay.
in the sense that they have a lot of information. In my time, we can do things that other people already have done just because we didn't know about that. And now it's almost impossible. Any idea that you have, you take 30 minutes to ask to PubMed if anybody have done that. So in the sense, it's not probably that they don't have extra curiosity, but the curiosity is like slow down. Okay, so I got new ideas. I have curiosity, generate an idea, an hypothesis, and then in 5 minutes I will say if it's true or not. So they make them like less, I will not say less innovative, but more cautious to the time to generate new illogical, very logical experiments, maybe. But every 200 of illogical experiments, you get a new very logical experiment. And this is true also. Okay. I totally believe that they are not ready, but not ready to work and need to be saved. And then I make a small parenthesis. They know how to work probably better than me when I've ended my degree, but this is true. But they are not ready for the work environment. Nobody teaches them that supervisors can be hard. Nobody teaches them that thesis is so hard. Nobody teaches them that you can cry every day during 1 year in a thesis. Nobody teaches them that if your supervisor say A, even if A is totally illogical, you should do A, and that's it. Nobody teaches them life in general. And this is probably, I always say in Spanish the same phrase. Let me know how to translate to English. This is a in Spanish is la culpa es de sus padres, okay? For our Spanish listeners, is like the reason of that is about from their parents, because we the parents protect a lot to our children, and this is not good when you are 25 and that's it. But I will not say that I'm not doing the same with my children, so I can say nothing. But they don't live the circumstances as we lived in the past. And this is real. Probably because they didn't fight for many circumstances as we did in the past. Probably, and for sure, they will say the same for the students of the next 20 years, because they are fighting now for other rights that we were not fighting. So they choose a different fights. They fight now about diversity, gender, appreciation, life balances, and we just fight for laboral rights. It's totally a different life, a totally different fight, in fact. But nobody to teach them our previous experience. And as they don't know that, they don't know how to handle that. And then I always say, all many degrees should have at the end of the last year of the degree a subject entitled something like life psychology or whatever you can do to prepare people to fail, to not succeed, to don't get work the next day, to don't get depressed if you apply to a PhD position and nobody replace you. And I think that we were pretty much adapted to that system in my age, but now it's like they prepare highly qualified people, and these young people, feels that they are the best ones, and the people need to come here to hire me, and this is not true. And it's like, I get contacted every week to anybody that, no, I have problems because I send a lot of emails and nobody reply me, and I always think, guy, guy, what's happening with you? I mean, did you really think that when I sent an email, everybody contacted me because I am the funny guy on the internet?
Yeah.
No, nobody replied to me, and that's it. And I keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. And this mental part, this mental strength, they lack. They lack.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't remember if with 23 years I had this mental strength. But in general, I feel that this mental stress got going down with the ages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this mentality is like it's not bad probably, okay, but you need to readapt. Once you get out from your bachelor's, you need to readapt to the real environment. And that's it. I mean, we protect our kids just study, 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 study. You will be the best of your promotion, of your year, of your degree, and then I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know why if I want to go to company, to a private, to aerospatial, to biology, to a hospital. It's like, guy, I will not say you to do with your life. So this kind of decisions, they take more time to take the young people.
Yeah. That's
And probably I will complain more from young people, but it's my fault, probably. It's like probably I need to really think about myself 20 years ago, 25 years ago, how I feel that. But that I feel that this is the main difference, the mental strengths that they have. And then also, I think that also they are probably more prepared than us to go to the lab to make techniques, let's say. But they never fail in the bachelors, and they never get used to solve their own problems. They are always waiting that somebody came to solve my problem. And at the end, it's like, it's your problem. I have my own problems in the lab. So you solve yours and I will solve. So I can teach you a technique, but if you can load a yield, I can teach you more. I mean, make 100 yields and until you get pretty, no, pretty
yeah.
well done one.
Yeah.
I have no problem in allowing you make 100 yields. What is the problem? Money, no problem at all. It's the reagents. But I can solve you. I can take your hand, load your proteins, because if I load your proteins, I am not doing my work. And they need to make like a switch in this means that anybody will help and will solve my problem. To I need to do that, but they are able to do that. It's just the change of the
Yeah.
mentality that they
Yeah.
need to do, and it's difficult. Let's say it's
And
so
also
difficult.
maybe getting this kind of aha moment that they know they are capable of. Usually they're oftentimes made small by other supervisors, right? So they often,
Yeah.
oftentimes.
No, this is clear. I mean, it's the different environments in different labs is a key to this to help these people. I mean, if you don't have a lab mate that can stay with you 1 hour or 2 hours or one day or 2 days solving your problem at the beginning of your career, uh, you will have a real problem because most of the problems are difficult to solve. So when you recognize that you have a problem in any technique, it's probably because you have tried many attempts and you fail in all of them. So if you fail all of them and you get a small depression and then you go to your lab mates and everybody says, no, I don't want to know nothing about you. It's like, whoop, go down. So the environment make a lot. And then I would like to say that my environment, my lab is so supportive. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not all the students that came to us and stay in the lab feel the same, probably. But I think that pretty much the majority of them feel that our lab is so supportive. And I think it will be in this way. I think that it will be in this way. I mean, we are humans and we are people and we are young and we need to help one to each other because if not, it's so depressing, the science life.
Totally, totally. I agree. For me as well. So I came from a very shitty PhD time, so it was not that of an amazing thing. But then now figuring out that it can be different and can be supportive is something that really gives me hope back that science is not always that kind of bad in terms of people and supervision. And what I've learned throughout the years that I encounter other supervisors, I tried not to make the same mistakes. So I try to be there, but also, as you said, um, make them as soon as possible more independent. That is kind of the very important thing, so that they learn how to solve their problems on their own if they know how to do the technique, for instance.
No, I think that you say the key word is like independent. At the end, you write your own project. I don't believe I don't believe too much in that idea. I will prefer to say that we all write our project. Like the lab has one complete project and everybody is involved. But it's difficult to match with the idea that you are as good as your first outdoor publications. So at the end, I don't love that too much, but it's true that I am what I publish as first or last author.
Mm.
If you make always collaborative projects, it maybe it's good for the lab or for the project or for whatever, but nobody will consider me as good as I am.
Yeah.
So at the end, you need to be independent, but you need to balance the idea to be productive, independent, and isolated from the project of other people with the idea of being kind, supportive, and helpful in your lab. And this is the case. This is the balance that you have to
Yeah.
achieve.
Yeah.
And I think that many labs get these achievements. Many labs, everybody works in their project, but independent of that, everybody can go to hang out and enjoy and make a dinner together, and everybody enjoys, and nobody has mental problems, and all of them are kind of supportive with the others. And this is difficult to handle. This is difficult to handle between the lab mates, and also difficult to handle with the PIs of the group, because each of us has like a different goal, different things to work, and different objectives in the life and in the project. So it's like
Yeah.
you need to mix many things in a lab. I mean, in a lab or in any kind of other work. I mean, probably other works are pretty much similar, but we are working in a lab, no? And,
Mm.
and it's so difficult. Also, because we have a lot of freedom to do whatever we want, the project that we can choose, direct the project to one side or to the opposite, and you have to combine this freedom to the attach to result, to attach what your supervisor wants, and to integrate with a cohort of people that is working with you, and don't create like a toxic environment. And it's like, what? I mean, and probably for it's difficult for people that are 23, 24, and is their first real job experience. Because, I mean, it's true, it's a research experience, but at the end, it's a job experience. Your PI pay you for a work, and that's it. Uh, and with the idea of freedom that my own project, I do what I want, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but your PI feel the sense? Probably not. Take care. So don't get confused of that.
Yeah. Totally agree. Um, Now, I would like to go a bit more into your second job, let's say. But before we come to that section, I would like to know from you what would have been an alternative path to your career if you would not have this position? So, where would we see Raul actually?
It's so easy. I want to be a travel photographer.
Okay.
That's it. No, no problem. I
So,
want to own my
research
own
out.
Volkswagen van, hippie van
Yeah.
with a tent, and then go with my cameras, take pictures, and sell them to whatever want to buy them.
Yeah.
But no
So,
science
that
at all.
would
Not
be your
necessary.
alternative
Yeah.
pathway.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In fact, I did it for several years. has to be said.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I work a few years as side job as photographer, and
Mm.
part of the job was travel photographer. So I did
Ah,
it. So
okay.
I enjoyed it. So one of my passions since child was photography, and then I make a lot of photography, especially travel and nature photography. You know,
Mhm.
and for a few years I combined my position of a lab manager with photography position.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
Kind of cool.
In
Um,
fact, one of the first conversations I had with my current boss was, but I think was the first day here or the second day here in my lab, was say, Antonio, I need to say that I need holidays next week. All the week I need holidays because I need to make a article for a travel magazine and I need 5 days out of the lab. And my boss say, what? And I say, uh, well, I have the contract many many months ago before starting here. I have this contract. I need 5 days of holidays and the weekend, and I will be 7 days making photographies of it was about carnivals in my town.
mhm.
Okay, so and I make a full reportage of carnivals, and my boss say like, I can't say nothing. No, it's like, no, you can't say nothing. It's true, because if not, I will take my own holidays. I mean, it's like I need to do that, and I can be doing pictures and being in the lab, and that's it.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Let's imagine you on a trip and taking really beautiful pictures.
Well, they were not bad. They were not bad. The people buy my photograph, so it says like it's not that bad. I mean,
Okay, so
I
we
know.
promote it now by Raul's nice pictures.
Yeah, you can promote me as photographer. If anybody want to hire me, I open to suggestions.
Mm, okay. Um, yeah, we are coming actually already to this last part that I would like to talk to you. Um, um, so we all know Raul is on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
called Research Goes Slowly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question was when I read the name, why did you decide on this? What was the rationale behind the name?
I didn't decide, to be honest. Let's say, okay, how I started my account. My account, in fact, started as photographer. So
Mm,
I opened an Instagram account for my photographies. Okay, and then then arrived a period of my life like I leave that part of photography side job. Okay, and then I also wanted to use this account on Instagram. And then I say, okay, what I can do is take pictures with my phone in the lab and explain people experiments or make like at the beginning was not even interested in explaining experiments. I was interested in make like aesthetic pictures in a
mm,
lab environment with the phone. And Instagram 10 years ago was so easy. You make a picture, select a square frame, and then post, and that's it.
mm,
Obviously, nobody cares about that. That's it. To be to be honest. And then at that moment, the name of my account was my name. Okay, was Raúl P Photography or something like that. Okay, in Spanish, but something like this. Because I used that as promote my photography business. Let's say. Okay, and then one moment I have a 3 hours commute every day. So half in the morning and half in the light. Okay, so I have many time to think in the train and to edit post and many things and to sleep sometimes, to be honest. And then one day I was thinking that uh, why should I maintain this photography nickname in my account so that I need to change the account name to something related to science. Okay, and I don't know why, but this research goes slowly, appears in my mind, and I say, why don't? And I put that one, and I keep that. So it wasn't like a directed line. I didn't think about how is research, which is the most problem, what every people feel about research. No, it's just when they appear in the train and say, "Oh, it's cool, it's real, it's true." It's so painful, but it's true. And then
Yeah.
I changed the name. Okay, and then for many years, my accounts was not so very successful. Okay, until this the appearance of these reels in Instagram. I get well, before the appearance of the reels, I got a huge following. Okay, about 25,000 followers. That is a lot, in fact. Okay,
Yeah.
but so the growth in Instagram for me has been like exponential. You know, during many time I was research go slowly with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 follower, very and growing also very slowly. And then this is true. Okay, and at one moment, at the 6 years ago, something like this, they started a trend in which everybody need to use their own name in the Instagram account. And if you focus, many of the people that are Kindle influencers has their own name. Okay, it's like, these trends appear. It was a social media trend, in fact. Until that moment, people put many things laboratory, science of, blah blah blah, and in a moment, everybody switched to Raúl the scientist, Raúl the photographer, Raúl the lab, Raúl the PhD. And I was really tempted at that time to change this research go slowly to Raúl Peña technician, Raúl technician, Raúl researcher, whatever it is. But I decided not to do that, and I think with the experience that it was a nice decision. Because it's so often that people send me an email and say, "Oh, your account name is one of the best I have ever read," and I say, "Yeah, this is because it's true." It's true. It goes slowly, no? Everything goes slowly. I mean, maybe now that I make like a dark comedy, I can change that research makes you cry or makes you depressive or something like this. But it will not be so fancy to new followers, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's too dark humor, then it might not
Yeah, but
attract.
mine, I consider mine that is a little bit dark, but not so dark than other people. It's like in the middle. It's like funny about my pain, but funny somehow.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just so
Yeah.
painful about my
Yes.
pain.
Yeah.
It's like, so you can suffer that situation and also you can enjoy. With other people, you suffer that situation and you also cry watching the reel. It's like a little bit the difference, no? It's like sometimes it's a barrier difficult to handle, no? Because probably you think that you are making a joke, and probably a viewer is crying about that, no? But well, for the majority of the people, I think that is a little bit funny, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that's for sure. So you've been doing it for, I think you said 10 years now, a bit longer than 10 years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And do you have any benefits or any side effects of being on social media or on you personally?
Uh, the main benefit is that the people look at me in my institute. It's like, it's so often I go to the lift and when there is anybody with on their phone and say, "Hi, oh, you are that guy?" "Yes, I am." You made so funny. Thank you so much. And this is the main emotional benefit, not economical or social. The main social benefit is that part. This is
Ah,
for sure. And
yeah.
also contacting people through with as with you with between the app itself, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Contacting people, asking things, requesting collaborations, making ideas, collaborative ideas, editing them, and then you get insight of the real life of these people out of you in other environments. And it's so, I mean, I think it's kind of experience and enrich yourself for sure, knowing that what is happening in India, what's happening in UK, what is happening in USA,
Yeah.
and this is the probably, I mean, we don't need to forget that social media is social. And if you skip this social part, it's just a media to do that. It's like a job. It's like, it's difficult. Difficult because the part of the media, this part about the reach, the likes, the comments, the connections, makes you a little bit addicted. Sorry, and this is true. When you plan a video that you feel that is so good and don't have the reach that you want, you feel a little bit like, "Ugh, what's happening here?" And if it happens during 3 weeks, it's like, what's happening here? Okay? You know? But I mean, I'm quite tall and I can survive to that. And I say, Raul, this is social media. I, I get unsuspected good success in videos that I never thought it would be a good video, but it's real. It's surprising to me sometimes. And I get no success with videos in which I believe a lot, or I collaborate with a friend, and we all believe that it should work. And at the end, you have to be realistic. The media rules and the media directs what you are receiving, and it's difficult. This is how I said you before. It's like many, many, many people is doing very good, very well. Probably, I will say, few of them better than me.
Of
But
course.
of course, but it's true. There are many of them doing many nice jokes, and they don't have the reach that I have, and this is surprising to me. So, in fact, sometimes I feel a little bit jealous about some jokes that I say, why the fuck I didn't create that joke in that moment? Because this was so funny. So, because to be honest, I am like not every day, but not every moment of the day, but many times thinking what will be the next good joke that I will share. So, you have to create that jokes, and sometimes it's like you make a joke that this is pretty good, and then I keep it then in a list and say, how I could be able to refine a little bit more, changing 3 words or a concept, or record the proper video that this phrase that I believe that is pretty good go like a rocket. And sometimes it's like I am working an idea and then show a video and say, forget the idea, Raul, because you will never do better than that idea. And sometimes that idea don't get even the half of the reach that I have. But I don't feel that I need to create. So I work a lot with trends, with trendy music, trend ideas, because I know that people is attached to these trends. And then many times happens that I think that with that music, that idea, I need to create something cool and fast before than anybody.
Yes.
Because if you are not the first or the second or the third, probably it will not work. With everybody in science jokes are doing the same video, has no sense to create that. And so how you can create, but probably will not reach to the level as if you were the first. And sometimes I'm working on an idea on a trend and saw one video and said, skip, Raul, don't worry. This is the perfect one. That guy created the perfect for science with that trend. And I don't want to fight with them. I don't need to compete in that sense. It's pretty much
How much research do you add to do, like finding trends, finding
a lot.
interesting music? A lot.
A
So
lot.
maybe in hours
No, a
a
lot, a
day.
lot. No. I will not reply. I need an hour to reply to this. And then we have to erase this part to my wife, and then I will reply. So
Okay.
when you come to Barcelona, you can send you. No, a lot. No, I would say a lot. Okay. I try, yeah, to not spend more than 2 or 3 hours in Instagram every day. I try. And most of the days, I get them. I get it.
And
3 hours or 2 hours implies reply to messages, reply to direct messages, watching what my friends are doing, watching histories of people, editing, posting, creating captions, and also implies watching reels. Okay, sometimes at home they ask me, "What are you doing?" No, people are watching at home TV, and I was scrolling. What are what are you doing? It's not so addictive, and I say, "Yeah, maybe, but I am scrolling." So I need to detect what's happening, and this is true. It's true, but because what I do is based on that. You know, if I will share another kind of content in Instagram, this is absolutely not necessary. There are many people not doing that, creating content and getting a lot of following.
yeah.
It's just because I prefer to adapt a joke to a trend. If I don't know what is a trend in that moment, I can do that. But I could do the same. Could I do the same adapting with a independent music out of the trend? Yes, I could do. Could it work? Yes, it can, because sometimes it does. But the overall of the system push you in my kind of content to use the trends, and this is true. Okay, what I don't do, and I think that is a, let's say, a little bit different to many people. I never do exactly the same trend, but in my lab. I take this trend, deconstruct the phrase, and put a new concept in there. I don't know if I am explaining well, okay? And it works for me. But there are many people taking a trend with a stereotypical phrase and follow the sense of the trend. I always try to break the trend and at least put other way around. I mean, if the trend is blah 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 happy, I will put blah 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 unhappy. It's a stupid thing. It's a stupid thing.
Yeah.
But I feel better with myself if I make a twist. But it could be the other way around. It could be unhappy and then make it happy because I am supervisor in that video.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I try to reconstruct the trends a little bit. And it works for me and for many other people. No, don't forget that. When I say me, I say many other people in general. But I try to don't follow exactly the trend. I follow the music, I follow the rhythm of the trend, how many videos, how many phrases, how many blah blah blah. But I try to put a little bit of originality. And sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work. And that's it, the system.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is with this.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say that we all say this is about the algorithm. It's false. The algorithm doesn't prime me.
Yeah.
And I agree with that idea, but I agree as much as disagree with that idea. I need to be honest with that part. I can barely predict if a video is gonna be good or not. I can't at all predict if the video is gonna be viral or not. But I can predict if the video will have a good response from my followers. And this is my work. My work is that one. Is not know if that video is gonna reach to 1,100 millions of views and 3 millions of likes. I can't predict that. That part is out of me.
And
But
sometimes you really don't get why a certain trend is so, spreading so quickly. And, sometimes you cannot explain it with logic sometimes.
you can't. And I skip many trends, that I said, this is stupid. It will not succeed this trend. And it's succeed. And I said, well, I could create something on that. Yeah, probably, but I didn't. I decided not to do that. Because you can predict everything.
Yeah.
This is the part of the social virality. You can't control that. What you can control is what you are doing. And you know, based of previous experience, if you what you are doing, your people will love or not. And that's it. It's like I get a lot of surprise anyway. Yeah? I get a lot of surprise anyway. But you can, in a certain point, predict that joke is gonna be good, that people love jokes with master students, but maybe they don't love with supervisors, or maybe love me at the lab and not me in the streets. You can predict this kind of things and up to one level. And this is what you need to control, in fact.
Um, on the note on this, I would like to know, because you might not be every day the very funny guy, right? You have your problems, you have your inner doubt sometimes. Sometimes something happened to you, it makes you sad. How do you keep up with the humor? So do you decide on that day you don't do anything and just, leave the day alone, or do you have like inner motivation or inner speech to yourself that you say, okay, now I switch to the funny Raul that is gonna take now this
Okay.
cool
Yeah.
snippet of me?
I need to say that in general, I am really funny guy in general in my life. Need to say that. I'm never suffered a big, well, never. During my PhD, I did a little bit of depression. This is true, and a little bit of breakdown, real breakdown, to be honest. But out of this PhD, in general, my life runs smoothly, but not bad. So, uh, and then the solution for that, but you need to be aware of that, is what Instagram calls scheduled posts. And that's it.
Hmm.
That's it.
So
It's like,
you create content beforehand.
yeah,
When you have a good day, you, I don't know,
yeah,
do 20 reels. If you don't feel good, then you
uh,
only do
yeah,
5. Okay.
yeah. I do that, and for me, is the best solution. It's like what happens to many people, that somebody post, no, I feel overwhelmed, I need to recover my life, I feel that social media is taking too many hours in my life, so I will disappear from here for 2 weeks because I need to recover myself. And I say, it's true, it's real. Social media
Mm.
at certain level takes you a lot of time in your life.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
you need to sacrifice other things. This is true. Okay, I agree with this idea. But as Instagram can schedule post, I don't need to disappear. What I need is, like, when I am high and funny and get a lot of ideas, uh, I produce 5, 10, 20 videos in 1 week, 2 weeks, and the next week I don't need to create that. And then with the time, I'm more attached to that part. Until beginning of this year, I used to have like drafts, many drafts, 2, 5, 10 drafts always in the drafts of the app. And then every day I go there and choose what could be funny today. And then it's stay 5 minutes to deciding and posting. And now I do like a little bit a step forward. And then I say, okay, I post, I create a video, in the same moment I create the caption. Lately, I create very short captions because I have no time, and then schedule. And then what I decide in that moment is, like, I have, like, imagine I have 5 posts scheduled for the next week. And then I decide this is pretty good or pretty bad according to the order that I have scheduled. And then what I do is reorganize the day in which I will share. And I try to feed the good ones with the weekdays. Okay, I fail 80% of the times, but I still try to say, okay, this day is so good, I need a funny joke, and this is a stupid day, I can put whatever, and this is a chaotic day. And then I have my own rules, stupid rules. I mean, for example, Saturdays, and I always try to put collaborations in Saturdays by random decision. I always try to put a good one in Fridays by random decision. I also try to put any stupid ones in the sense that is like so out of range with so creative, let's say, on Sundays. I also love to put good ones on Tuesday or Mondays. Why? I don't know why, but probably in the past, once Monday, I get a huge, huge reach in one random post, and I decide the Mondays are the best day of my life. No, it's not true, but I need to take these random decisions because otherwise, I don't know how to organize my videos, you know. And then I try to do that, and then I have an advantage of that. I can a huge advantage to many other people is that you, in example, for create 1 week of videos, as you say, no, 1 week of videos about this Raul podcast, you need contact to Raul, schedule the studio, edit, blah blah blah, and it takes to you a lot of times to produce 5, 10, 8 videos. I spend less than 1 hour in created any video. So for me, it's so fast. In fact, I created random videos in less than 20 minutes that go highly viral. Why? Because the phrase was good, and that's it. If I had the combination of a original phrase, funny phrase, with a random video, it's not even needed to get a new video, record a new video today to post. I don't need it. And put this good idea with a random video in the proper moment of the proper day, it can go viral or not, but it can. So comparing to with you, I have many advantages because in one day with 5, 6 hours on a day, I can create from 4 to 8 videos depending on the complex of one video. But many video is one video, so many reels are 2 different videos, one phrase and 2 phrases. 20 minutes I have done that. And then I have to sync the music and choose a little bit the expressions because I have a lot of videos, to be honest, already recorded. And I have to scroll on between my library of videos to what kind of video I feel that fits better to that particular concept. But you need to do a lot of work, a lot of recording, a lot of video to create 5 video comparing to me. And for me, it's an advantage because this kind of overwhelming that people say, I never had it. I can be more or less motivated to create a video, but I can create in 1 hour and that's it. And don't forget that I have 3 hours of commute every day. So I can use these 3 hours of commute to create many videos.
If we are already in comparing mode,
No. It's to be honest. I
for
mean,
me, I'm also writing the scripts. I'm also doing the research, after for every person. And
contacting them, they cancel the appointment, you have to rescue them, you have to leave your
but
work early,
that's not the big thing. The thing is,
But it's time for you because if you
it's
schedule a
time
podcast and
that I
I
don't
can
have
tell
a prep.
you that you don't do your work in that time, and also you don't do the podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
And for me, it's so autonomous. If I think that most of my ideas is one phrase. If you blah blah blah, slash boom boom boom, 10 words. Once I create these 10 words, that is the difficult and the creative part. The other is like decorations. The videos can be new or old, or sometimes I need to create because I want to create a new video for that particular phrase because maybe I feel that this concept doesn't fit in any of them, or because I feel that it's very good to put a new video that nobody have seen it. But in general, and I was totally, I hate to reuse videos until 1 year ago. And I started to reuse my own videos carefully. Until 1 year ago, I created one video for each phrase. What does it mean? That I need a lot of time of recording in my lab and not lot of pressure to record and to edit fast. Because if you want to create
You set
three, four,
your
five
yeah.
every week, you need to record yourself three, four, five times.
Yes. Yeah.
And once I decided that the people doesn't care at all, but doesn't care at all if the video is new or not, I say, forget
Okay.
about that, Raul. Just those videos in which you don't have a image that just these phrases and don't have a video that fits perfectly with that, I will record. And also for the collaborations. For the collaborations, I'll always create a new video,
Mm.
you know? But for 80% of my reels, I don't need a new video because I reuse that.
Yeah.
I have been
But
recording myself more than 2 years every week.
yeah.
So I
Yeah,
have
you have enough.
thousands of videos. I have
You have
all the
enough.
materials. And it's funny because nobody cares about that. But if you see my for me it's so funny. My videos in posting chronological order, you say that one day I have a huge bear, another don't, another I have not blah blah blah, and it's like Raul is saving the bar one day and then the other row and the other. No, it's just because I reuse all of them and don't care about that. But I don't care because the people don't care. What works in my channel is the joke, how emotional it is, how funny it is, how surprising it is. If I appear a bench without people, probably nobody cares.
Mm. Yeah. No, that's but it's really cool. Thank you for your insight how you do it actually. So
No, no,
we
no,
can,
no. But
you know.
I'm trying to be honest with everybody. Many people ask me how to progress, how I can do better, and I try to be honest to everybody. And for example, what also I recommend to people, have a list in the notes of the phone. I have a list of jokes to edit. I have it. You need to create that, obviously, but it's like a routine. Once you start to create and put in the notes,
Yeah.
you put in the notes. And in fact, it's better for me to have this in the notes. Why? Because in a moment that I can't create a reel or I can't record myself, I can get an idea and write it down. And then is one extra idea. And then I get a list. And then from time to time, and go to the list and say, this was so good. Do I have a video? No, I can record and go back. So sometimes I think the idea in a moment that I have time to edit, and some others don't. So make a list, a real list. I have a list. I, I have probably more than 20 or 30 jokes. Most of them are so bad that I will never edit. Because if I had did that joke 20 times and never had decided to create that, is because of I don't feel that is so good, you know? But some of them are pretty good. But I don't edit them because I don't have the time to create the proper video to that situation. And I don't want to spend that for me good idea with a good video because maybe the combination of everything works fine. Okay, and this is a good advice. It's like, but for people like make like let's say serious content, real science communication, it's so difficult to get this rhythm
Yeah.
because you need to invest a lot of time in reading papers, contacting people, thinking what you want to ask them, editing that part. But for comedy people, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's so fast, you know.
Yeah. But I don't see like a negative thing in that because the content itself is kind of different, right? So you can, in the
Obviously,
end, you
obviously,
cannot compare.
obviously.
Um,
But
and I accepted the fact that my growth is slow,
mhm,
but therefore I'm continuously doing it. You know, like I'm doing it because I'm enjoying it. If
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
no, no,
enjoy
no,
it anymore,
no.
then of course I would stop because then I know I reached the plateau that is not good anymore for me.
But I agree with that. But let's be a little bit honest. And
Mhm.
by my side, and that is real, that make a continuous effort without result is so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then comparing these both situations, that I make jokes and have no reach, and you make huge videos, or you make paper outreaching and you have no reach, my invest of time is so reduced. So it's a little bit more difficult that I get like a crisis in the decision, because
Mm.
I edit very fast. I can stay 1 hour every day without no problem and don't get rich, because it's just 30 minutes, 1 hour, maybe one day, yes, whether or not. But if I should invest 3 hours every day to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mentally, it's not exactly the same.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. But I kind of, yeah, I try to work on this. So because we also talked about this in the DMs, right? What the algorithm likes and not, and all these kind of things. So we are also kind of exchanging on that, and I'm super aware that my content is also not easy to digest. So people might need longer to get the idea behind it, or understand what we are talking about. So for me it's completely okay if the reach is not there. But what keeps me going even on this mental load, of course I have days where I'm kind of sad that people are not sharing it or whatever. But recently some colleagues just came to me and be like, hey, I really like what you do. Or I get compliments on Instagram from other people that I already I'm in contact with. And that gives me like the continuation that I'm on the right path. And anyway, this podcast, or in general, Daily Dose of Honest Science, is meant to be there for many years. So it's not like I come and it's there and everyone likes it. It's more like on a continuous and more on a very long perspective, because I really enjoy talking to peers, talking to other people about their research. And especially now with social media and that you can also give like insights, because many people, and me included, I have to be very honest. I thought if you're a researcher and you upload anything and this will go like boom, because everyone will be like, oh, this is a new science communicator doing great job. And I was so, blinded by that, because I didn't know how social media works. And still today, I don't know. So it really is good to talk to you about what to take care of and why certain things work and why not.
Yeah. No, I appreciate this opportunity, but what happens sometimes, many times, is that the people contact me and say, "No, I want to get a huge reach and huge following. What I should do?" And then, to be honest, my first thing is always the same: don't do what you are actually doing. Why? Because you are doing whatever you want and you don't got it. But
Yeah.
I can't say nobody that one, because it's like what's unkind from part of Raúl.
Yeah.
But the reality is that one. And then I always make like a discourse that is pretty much the same. And I ask them, what do you want social media for? Then
Yeah.
you can use social media for many ways. You can use social media for sharing your life with your friends, no worries at all. You can use social media to share your life and also a little bit of your work. Or, or you can use social media with the final goal to be an influencer. And then, if you applied for the C option, the last options, what you have to do is something, whatever, that people will love. Like, share, and comment. And that's it. I mean, I can create jokes because of yes, and that's it. But if I want to create jokes to get the same reach as Raul, it's not the same. And then you have to think careful of that. So, I mean, the goal I never decide the goal of the people. I can give you advice, you to other people advice, but what you first want to say is, what do you want? And be honest with you. Be honest with you. Yeah, there are many people that want to become influencer, and this is real. And then, if you are trying in any manner, you are trying, and I don't care in that sense that I don't care what are you doing, and you are not getting that. Don't tell me, please, that no, is that I want to do that, but I don't get rich. It's like, if you don't get rich, it's because what you are offering is not interesting.
Yeah.
I can apply it to myself. And in fact, I apply it to myself. I have been sharing science content in my Instagram account. I mean, you scroll down, I never erase any post. Probably at the bottom of the account, I will have still my all photography pictures over there. But I have been sharing science probably for more than 8 or 10 years. During the first 5 years, I shared probably one picture every day, or at least 4 or 5 every moment. At that moment, I don't care too much about the following. And I was totally happy about that. But at that time, I don't care. I never asked it and never tried. I never do nothing. I post and forget, post and forget. And sometimes I get 10 likes and sometimes I have 25. And I was totally happy with my 25, you know? But if my objective at that time was to become an influencer, at that time, I will have to realize to myself and tell to myself that, Raul, you are doing totally wrong because 10 like or 25 is a shit, and that's it. And then, what what is the worst of the social media? That is in fact is so addictive, and this is true, you know. But it's not addictive because you scroll a lot of hours in your phone. It's addictive because when the people love your content, you get attached to that content and to your account, and this is the problem with the addictions, you know. And then, uh, if you can do that, you want to become a influencer, you have to careful interpret what are you doing, mainly what are not you doing, in fact, because you are not getting this rich. And then, in which account would you want to become? Analyze this kind of accounts and see what they are doing, and try to get inspired from that accounts. It doesn't mean that you have to copy them, and probably you need to get a little bit of inspiration, or you need to be a little bit creative, because if you offer the same that other people are offering, then you will not have, probably everybody will say that you are copying, you know. But if something works, you need to interpret how it works and then try to adapt, you know. So, one of the good advice that I used to, I think that is a good advice, that I used to offer to people that want to become influencer is that they have to change a little bit their way of thinking. It's like, think that if you, because social media works in this way, and this is the way, if you're offering whatever you are offering and you get that success, if you want to follow in that success, you need to offer that kind of content forever. So, advice, be happy with what you are offering. Because the day that you don't love to offer that, you will not be influencer, and your hindsight will drop for sure. So, do you think, Raul, have you ever seen if you that you will become influencer with your jokes? No, I never had. But then, what did you continue making jokes? Because I enjoy that, and that's the point. I can create one joke per day and I schedule them and create funny scripts or whatever because I enjoy that. And this is the key. And this is the key. And you feel really in the accounts when they are doing something that they love and when they are doing things. And that's it. You don't.
Yeah.
If somebody asks me, Raul, why don't you make serious content? I always say the same. First, in my account, it doesn't work. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then, why? It, for me, in my opinion, it takes a lot of my time and time that I don't have. And then I am doing something that I am really happy doing that. And then the people also loves that. So the circle is rounded, perfect, and closed. Should I offer other things? Maybe, but I don't care.
But I think you're already doing a great job by doing these PhD memes and funny, humorous content, comedy content.
Yeah. But many people have 1,000 followers doing serious content. And also they are doing great. It's like, uh, I mean, so the idea what I want to transmit is that you need to do, so it's better to be an influencer, doing what you love to do, but also offering something that people will love.
Yeah.
But people don't love what you are offering. And this is the point. The point is that you don't decide what people love. The
Yes.
people, the audience decide what they love. And my jokes with another face doesn't work because
Yes.
other accounts doesn't work and they make very funny jokes. So probably my face with a serious content, it will not fit with the audience and need to be so conscious of that. It's a balance between, it's a huge balance between what I want to offer and how the people react to this offer. See, if you don't fit that, nothing happens. But when they match, and sometimes for some people, for some account, it matches. Are you happy with what you are offering? Because if not, you will have a breakdown for sure. A mental breakdown for sure. Because you are working a lot in something in which you don't believe.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
many successful people probably will tell you the other way around. No, I did it because I love it and I get success. Yes, but I would like to value really how many of this kind of success they are in the world, how many of this kind of success they are, on which range of separation. Well, because what I wanted to do in my beginning was making aesthetic pictures of my experiments and explain to the people. And let's say I got 25,000 followers that in fact they were a lot of people following our experiments. They were a lot of people. But some in one moment they attract with few jokes and I say, because I enjoy making this, why don't? And then go to this level. So
Yeah.
it's difficult.
Yeah. But you made the essence here. So it's try to make the content that you love, and I think it will attract the right people. So it works like that.
Yes, but if the right people are 10 people, don't get depressed.
No, it is what
This
it
is the
is,
point.
right?
It is what it is. But if you want to attract 1 million people, in fact, you need to offer them what 1 million people loves. And you need to adapt to the content to that people. And this is social media. And that's it. And then, will you be happy offering something that you don't love to 1 million people? Think about yourself. Feel free. I mean, I don't have the reply to that. I have my own solution, but solution to other people. But I mean,
No, everyone has
don't mind too much. I mean, you can say
yes.
yes or no. Don't mind too much, but be happy in both situations. So what do you want? What is the balance? You want to be happy of eating that, or you want to become an influencer? Because if you want to become an influencer, you have to sacrifice some concept of some ideas.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but maybe a follow-up question on that. If you would have the opportunity to change something on social media, what would it be?
Oof, hard question. I don't have the reply to that. Social
So
media.
only everyone gets Raul's reels.
It's not even necessary. I mean, it's not true. I mean, most of the people don't understand the science field as much to understand my jokes. I mean, I have many friends that say to me, "Bro, I had a like, but I don't understand anything. I don't care. You give me a like, it's okay for me. No, no, it's not even necessary to explain it to you. It's better you be live out of that part of my life, you know. It's so funny. The people in research enjoy a lot. We make jokes, and people send me ideas, and people in the lab give me ideas, and I edit many of them. No, in fact, many of few of we'll need to measure percentage, but some very viral videos come from real experience in my lab, in my current lab, because at the end I just dramatize what is happening in my weeks, it's like it's true.
When the Western blot, the 10 times is not working.
It's not working. Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, the Western blog is like a loop. You can make jokes about it every day, but it's so
Or
boring for the
PCR.
people. Or
PCR
PCR.
is
No, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Yeah, the funny part is that the PCR, you prepare it in 10 minutes and you don't get nothing. But the problem with the Western web is that it takes 2 days to
days.
year. And
Yeah.
then it's like
Yeah.
after 2 days, you don't get nothing.
Yeah.
PCS, you don't get results, and the same afternoon you are doing a variation. But for Western blot, you keep it for next week. I will try,
Yeah. Yeah.
But saying in
So,
social media, no, so I don't know. I don't feel I am. Uh, I will complain. I can complain a lot about social media, but I don't feel that we understand. I think that mm, mm, I don't know. The system works as you say. No, it is what it is, and you have to adapt or hate or love or hate whatever you want. But it is what it is.
yeah.
We can't predict what is gonna be viral. We can't predict which is the best date of posting. We can't predict if Instagram owner decide to change the algorithm. We can't predict if they decided to create reels and you can start create reels instead of videos as TikTok. It happened a few years ago. Maybe tomorrow they implement a new feature that is so chaotic, but everybody need to do that feature because they decide to remove reels. It's like but I will not say that the exciting part is this unpredictable way of work. I would prefer to be a little bit more predictive, but in a because for example, last from few months ago, everybody complains that the rich has down a lot. Okay, and then
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know it's true. I know it's true. Yeah, and I very agree with everybody. But then the CEO of Instagram, they say they are changing. They are promoting changes to in some part to promote new creators and in some part to promote content that is going to be shared by the users with other friends. This is the main rules that they are working right now this year. Okay. And then, for example, that they decide that it's important to be share your content, I have nothing to say on that. It's like it's your business, is your decision. It's okay. Okay. But for example, as a big creator, a big following creator, let's say, I will prefer that all my content will have a huge minimum of viewers. That happens last year. Yeah? It happens last year.
Yeah.
You know, by other way around, I think, yeah, but if we always do that, what really we are favoring is that to that big accounts. I will never reach to become a huge account if the system work forever because the huge accounts always will get the huge following, the huge views. So it's like depends. It depends. And for this, I don't recommend do that, but I do that by any kind of reasons, but I have two different accounts, and then I can try to predict sometimes what works for small accounts that doesn't work for big accounts. And this is true. And this is funny sometimes. I love to analyze data also a lot, mathematical data. I love to do that.
Okay.
And it's funny to know that the change promoted by the app or the algorithm or whatever you can define it uh, are totally different. And it's funny. It's funny to know that. But so this is why, because when you have different accounts and you use these accounts for different uses and a particular account and private account, you feel at the end that wherever they change is not important because the overall of the people is pretty much the same. What's happening? That the people that have 1 million followers are complaining that they don't have a lot of reach. It's like, come on, guys, you have 1 million followers. I mean, what more do you want? It's like depends on the point of view, and this is so important. It depends of a lot of view. If I will have to, I want to request one thing. This is I would like to be able to predict what is happening with TikTok because nobody loves my content in TikTok. I will prefer to do that. No, nothing to Instagram. Yeah. Just with TikTok.
Okay. Can you just very briefly say what is the difference, what you see to compared to TikTok?
Just that I don't understand TikTok. But I don't understand at all TikTok. It's like I can post a video that get 3 million views in Instagram in TikTok and nobody cares. And also I try to post in TikTok almost every day because I have old videos to share in TikTok that nobody the TikTok users haven't watched it. And sometimes you have 3,000 views, 5,000 views, and the next day 26. And it's like, I mean, what's happening? I mean, so what's happening? The content is the same, the face is the same, the joke are pretty much the same. It's not weekend, it's not party day. It's like from 3,000 to 26. It's like I can understand that.
Maybe someone out there who knows how TikTok works,
Yeah.
please let Raul
Send me an
know.
email. Send me an email for sure. Yeah, I mean, send me. I will accept any kind of
Explain
idea.
us what is going on.
Yeah. It's so funny that I have more following in LinkedIn than in TikTok. Has no sense, but it's so funny, to be honest. I mean, I have almost 20,000 followers in LinkedIn, you know? I mean, I share serious content in LinkedIn because if not, nobody watch you. But it's like, I mean, the funny guy in Instagram have more following in LinkedIn than in TikTok. I mean, guys, you are so crazy. It's like, I can understand that part. No, I can understand that part. No.
Okay, thank you so much, Raul. We are coming actually to the end of our nice conversation. I could go on, but of course, we both have things to do. So, as a last thing, I always offer to my guest the audience. So, what would you like to say to the audience?
Like a random advice.
Advice or something that you would like to share?
People try to be happy. That's it. I think it's
Oh,
like
that's the
it's so
best.
typical, but this is it's a motto for me. For my kids, it's the same. Try to be happy. Whatever you are doing, try to be happy. It can be hard. It can be soft. It can be relaxed. You can chill with that. Don't get every day stressed, but try to be happy. And then there are people being happy sharing things in Instagram, and there are people being happy in creating Amazon. That it should be so stressful, and there are people being happy ruling the world or creating wars. This is not the best option, of course, but try to be happy. Uh, for sure, for sure. Try to be happy. Is the unique way to be to survive in this world. And try to not disturb other people. Try to be kind. This is also important. At the end, try
Respectful.
respectful. Obviously, don't say people what they should do or not should do. I mean, just accept people as they are, and they don't accept people that say to you what you want to do, you have to do. And this is the other way around. This is true. I mean, I'm respectful because you respect me, and this is true. Okay, but try to be happy. I mean, you can be happy working 24/7, and this is okay if you are happy. And you can be happy every day in the beach if you are happy. I will not be every day, all the day in the beach. This is true because I want to be a little bit active, but try to be happy. I think it's the better advice at the end. More older you are, more believe in that phrase. You work a lot, you study a lot, you start a lot of hours in your degree, in your bachelor's, in your thesis, in your PhD, in your work, in your lab. And then at the end, when you are 60, it's like, does it what's important? Pues partially yes and partially not. So maybe you get to decide what is important in your 20s more than in your 60s. It's difficult, this capitalism ruling the world. And it's difficult with this idea that you have always to be progressing and getting more followers, getting more reach, getting more actions to be done. Maybe it's not needed to do all these kind of actions. Maybe you with the few actions, a little more time enjoying with your friends, your family, your kids, your parents, your colleagues, it will be better. But try to be happy. You can work the same way, happy or unhappy, but working happy is better for you or for the environment. And at the end is you have to decide what you do with your life. I think is the best. And I know that is a typical phrase. Be happy. No, yeah, I know, but I do
No,
believe
no,
in that.
no.
No,
Yeah,
I do
yeah, but
believe in that.
kind of, yeah.
More old I am, more believe in that idea. It's like I don't disturb nobody and don't accept nobody disturb me. If you disturb me, get out of my life, and that's it.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and this is important.
Wonderful, wonderful words towards the end. So, thank you so much, Raul, for being here as a guest, and I really enjoyed, and I hope the audience took also a lot from them. Either being self a PhD master student, or a colleague who is a postdoc, or even the general public who is interested in how science works somewhere else. Um, so, dear listeners, we come to an end, and yeah, a big applause again for Raul. If you enjoyed, of course, our conversation, please make sure you like it, and if, of course, if you want to see more, then with Future Scientists, you should subscribe and follow. Please follow dear Raul on Instagram at Research Goes Slowly, of course, and I think the other one is Memes Go Slowly, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
life goes slowly always, research, life, everything.
And
Thank you
of
so much
course, yeah,
for your
and of course
invitation.
on LinkedIn he is also. So I will also put it in the description box. And Raul, I always have a yeah, a end slogan. I don't know if you remembered
Mhm.
it. So if you agree to tell the slogan with me together,
Okay, which is
yeah.
because I don't read, didn't read yours.
Let a little dose of honest science in your life and brighten up your day.
Okay, repeat me, please.
Yeah,
You
let a
can
little dose
let a little dose of honest
of
science
honest
in
science in your life
your life
and brighten up your day.
and brighten up your day.
Yeah.
Did I tell it fine?
Yeah.
I can
Yes.
repeat it.
Yeah. So let's do it together. So
Okay,
1, 2, 3. Let a little
little
dose
dose of honest
of
science
honest
in your
science in
days,
your life
life
and
and
brighten
brighten
up
up
on your
your
day.
day.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so, so much.
More
Do
or
you want
less.
to give a third try?
Maybe you need it. Repeat me
Yeah.
again, please. You
Let's
can
try
be
again.
mega. Let's try again. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Let a
Let a
little
little
dose
dose of
of
honest
honest
science
science in
in
your
your
life
life
and brighten
brighten
up
up
your
your
day.
day. Cool.
Thank you so,
Yeah.
so much.
3 attempts
Um,
of 4,
have
but
a
we
nice,
got it.
yeah, we got
Thank
it.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Have a
everything.
nice
Have a nice
time, and
afternoon and
thanks to
enjoy
the
a lot.
audience for listening. Thank you.
Okay.
Daily dose of honest science.